In light of the recent urge to ministers by the Royal College of Pediatrics and Child Health to ban any type of corporal punishment, including smacking, hitting, slapping and shaking to children, otherwise known as the smacking ban, I would like to welcome Joanna Barrett, Associate Head of Policy at the National Society for the Prevention of Cruelty to Children, to shed some light on this issue. Thank you so much for joining us, Joanna. Now, firstly, I just wanted to ask, what is your overall opinion on the smacking ban? Why should it be enforced in England and Northern Ireland, and why now?
So what exists in law at the moment is an exception to the law of assault, that something that would otherwise be considered assault is permitted on the grounds that it was reasonable punishment. So there's a reasonable punishment defence, and it's this that we want to get rid of. So we're not advocating that there be a smacking ban. What we want to do is remove the defence of reasonable punishment to make the law of assault the same as it is for adults. So we think that children and adults should have the same legal protection from physical assault.
Great, thank you. Now just on a bit of like a implication issue. So rather than being tough on the implications of smacking, what's your opinion on gathering data or answering the question of why people are smacking in the first place? So are there socioeconomic reasons behind this that maybe need to be addressed instead?
There's lots of international data around about physical punishment, both in terms of changing the law and the impact that that has, but also generally, what is physical punishment? What kind of impact does it have? The evidence shows that there's no real socioeconomic disparity, and when it happens, it's a population-wide issue. The evidence shows that the prevalence of physical punishment is at its highest for children who are around the age of 3 to 5. So I think in our minds, when we're having this discussion, we think of an older child with whom we can have a conversation maybe about behaviour, but that's not typically the age of the child that we're talking about. It tends to be a young child. The evidence also shows us that physical punishment is really harmful to children. I think that's the crucial thing that's underneath the call by the Royal College and by us. It's linked to increased antisocial behaviour, increased mental health issues. None of the evidence gathered over decades has found that it's linked to a single positive outcome for children. So this is something that's harmful, and therefore we think it shouldn't be permitted in law.
Great, thank you. And just kind of carrying on from this point, do you think that this proposed ban represents an overreach of government authority, kind of veering into nanny state territory, i.e. Telling parents what to do? And basically the question is, should the government be intervening in family matters to this extent?
So I would completely disagree with the characterisation of this being overreach. I'm sure you wouldn't be surprised by that. And the reason for that is that the state has a duty to protect children. And the law as it stands is getting in the way of protecting children. So by removing this defence, we are leaving no grey areas about when or when not it's okay to hit a child. We're saying it's never okay to hit a child. So removing the defence is not telling a parent what to do. It's just taking physical punishment out of the parenting toolkit, saying it doesn't work, it's harmful to children, put that to one side, and then support parents to make more positive choices. So actually, if we do this and we put in place better support for parents, then actually I think we are supporting parents rather than doing anything that gets in their way.
Yeah, great, thank you. And just in terms of enforceability, how do we implement this in the sense of how do we get local government, who is already so overstretched, to enforce this ban?
So what we're doing is removing the defence, and the defence only kicks in at a point at which something has happened and it's come to the attention of social work or police. And at that point, what might otherwise be characterised as an offence is not considered to be an offence because of the existence of this because we've taken it off. This is a change that's already been made in Scotland and Wales, and actually social work services, police services in those countries were calling for this change because of the issues that there was no clarity in the law. It was creating these grey areas, it was getting in the way of protecting children. So actually this is something that all of our services, be that law enforcement services or protective and care services, are already doing. But by removing the defence and making it clear that physical punishment's not allowed, it actually makes their job a bit easier, because it makes things a bit more clear about what is an okay situation for a child to be in and what isn't.
Thank you. Continuing on your point about clarity, how do you think a new government should address this issue in their manifesto?
We would be really keen for political leaders of all political parties to take up this issue. I know it can be an emotive subject because it's about our parenting and our parenthood, but the role of political decision makers is to look at the evidence, and the evidence is irrefutable in this case that the physical punishment of children is harmful. So we would ask all political leaders, when they're sitting thinking about their manifestos, to look at that evidence and actually think this is a really sensible change that we can make to help protect children in this country.
Great, thank you so much for joining us, Joanna. That was really insightful.